Wonderful. So we'll transition. So now I know we've had a lot of our companies looking to pop in, and we've been putting them back into the calling the stewing space before we bring in. So Maria, what I'll do is, do we know which company is going to go first of the two?
I think it's going to be Hexa.
Okay. Okay. So before we bring in Hexa, I want to bring up, so Thomas, if you can promote Jessa Fuller. Bring her. And so basically, Jessa is going to be one of our panelists providing constructive feedback on the companies. She works with the Garage out of Northwestern. And so, Jess, if I could get you to turn on your microphone and your camera, I'm just going to pop you up so you can say hello. And then we will talk just a few, minute or two about the program at Northwestern. And then, Maria, I'll turn it to you to introduce Hexa, and we'll go into the presentation.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of audio trouble hearing everyone, so hopefully you're able to hear me. Thanks so much for having me. My name is Jessa Fuller. I'm a part of the team at the Garage. As Michael stated, the Garage is at Northwestern University, and it's a physical space when times are normal, otherwise a virtual space, community networking and resources for all Northwestern University students who are interested in entrepreneurship. So the Garage offers a number of wonderful programs for students, whether you're an undergrad, a graduate student, a PhD, and no matter what area you are studying at the university, different programs to support students working on entrepreneurial projects and startups. And what I work on in particular at the Garage in Northwestern is a startup competition that we hold annually called Venture Cat. And I run and manage that program, and we hold it every May. So I hope that a lot of you can join us online to watch this May. It's Wednesday, May 26th. And we feature the best and brightest student startups from across the university in a day-long competition. And we are fortunate to be able to award more than $300,000 in non-dilutive capital to these student startups on this competition day. And alongside that wonderful non-dilutive capital, there's also a wonderful pitch prep program that we run for the semifinalist teams in our competition that involves a lot of one-on-one mentoring, coaching, as well as professional graphic design to make sure that their pitch decks are top-notch when they're ready to compete and present. And we've had a number of wonderful startups come through this competition over the years. Many are in operation today and very successful, growing their businesses, securing venture capital, hiring folks, and making a lot of wonderful progress. So we're very excited about our competition that we hold every year. Would love to have some of you join us. And yes, definitely check out the Garage at Northwestern. Again, the resources are only for Northwestern students. However, there is some programming every now and then that is open to the public, and certainly watching our Venture Cat Public Showcase is something that is open to the general public as well. So thank you again for having me, and I'm excited to join today.
Yeah, so I don't want to take any of their time. So Hexa, you have the floor. You better than no one can introduce yourself and present to the audience the great things that you are doing. So please just get the floor and keep it rolling.
Yes. Well, my name is Jose. I want also to introduce, sorry about that. I was just ensuring I was uploading my presentation. Okay, here I'm now. Well, let me introduce you also my colleagues, Antonio Pinedo and Sergio Torres. Basically, what we are going to do now is show one application. I don't know if the sound is right.
Yes.
Okay. So basically what we are doing is explaining our joint venture. It's a nice love story between Hexa and Signe. We have a big support on behalf of Maria. I want to thank you, Maria, for the support of ITEX and inviting to the presentation. I also want to thank you, SelectChicago, because what we want from SelectChicago is companies in Illinois interested in our product and our technology. So this presentation is wonderful for us. I will pass the word to Antonio. Maybe he wants to introduce himself.
Antonio, you can go ahead, I think.
Sorry, I understood we have to wait. Okay, my name is Antonio Pinedo, and I'm the strategy and business responsible in Signe Group. And Sergio, which is my colleague, is present yourself, Sergio.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sergio Torres. I'm a computer engineer, and I work in Signeblock in the blockchain area.
Okay, so Jose, play the video. Okay, so we're going to do a little introduction of the companies that that we're in this joint venture. Signe, which is the company where I come from, is a company with more than 35 years of experience in the main private security printing company of Spain within the European market. Signe is specialized in the physical and digital document security solutions, again, content phishing and fraudulent modification. And we are also a certification authority by ADAS regulation, which allow us for operating in the European Electronic Administration with total legal recognition. During the last 15 years, we have created new business model with in different sectors using the last technologies. For example, A2, Confirma Sistemas, and Soluciones Confirma provide a special physical and digital solution for the finance market. And Signeblock, which is the company that have created Gouze, is a company that is focused on helping companies in the digital transformation process through enabling technologies like IoT, artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud, data analytics, and other new technologies. We also have a strong presence in Latin America with presence in 5 countries through our brand Thomas Signe. And we also have another organization, Bomonsis, which is in charge of providing specialized consultancy and service in cybersecurity. Signe has, as a security company, has the main international certification required, which prove the highest level of safety, quality, and trust.
Yeah, I think it's my turn now. Well, basically, it's still from the sort of thing Signe is doing. So this explains our partnership and how we were able to develop our product and our technology, our joint product. Basically, Hexa-Engineers is an automation company. We started 20 years ago, just providing automation to industries, to manufacturing companies. We have done many, many other things. We are a company which is 40 engineers on board. Ladies and gentlemen, you may think we are a very small company, but all our engineers are certified in the different systems and technologies. So it's very difficult to find a company with such large number of certified engineers. We are based in Spain, in Europe, but we have projects worldwide. And we have a subsidiary, thanks to the support of ITEX, in USA, which is Hexa-Engineers Limited Liability Company, an LLC. So our plans are trading our joint venture product through this subsidiary. basically we do smart factories. You have a smartphone that can do lots of things. What we do is factories that are very smart. It's about digitalization of the factories, the digital transformation, Industry 4.0, and connected industry. Let me show some of our customers. I just picked up some customers we have been working for in Europe, but I picked the ones that you might recognize very, very much in USA. Obviously, you can imagine we want to introduce this technology in our customers.
Well, now we are going to present a platform developed by Signeblock team, in which we use blockchain as the core of the solution. And we all know that in the recent days, there is a special impact on Bitcoin due to the increase in the price of cryptocurrencies, but we have nothing to do with that blockchain world. We use blockchain not on the side of the cryptocurrencies, we use blockchain on the side of notarization, traceability, transparency, and immutability. The blockchain technology that we use is private with what we manage it, and we are the ones who back up the information stored in it. This public technology has been enhanced for private use, and we are what we use at Gouze. Gouze is a platform as a service that can be accessed from any type of device that has an internet connection and a web browser. As it is a young tool, it has been developed with the latest cloud technology to adapt to the latest trends. And why do we say we connect everything? Because we can really connect everything we want, from an industrial process to an administrative process as a manual process. We give the option for any type of business to use this platform to trace its processes regardless of the size of the company. In this case, we show how to connect it to the industrial field, but in Europe, we have different projects where Gouze is used in different ways. The power of this connection is not the ease of the integration against other digital systems. The power is that we use blockchain to guarantee the immutability of the data. The blockchain is used as a trusted third party where the data is backed up to be consulted in a transparent way. It is a platform that has different components, such as its mobile application, API, QR code generator, transaction search engine, and the web application. From the web application, any company can configure its own traceability flows without the need for Signeblock to do so. The company pays for the subscription on the platform, and you can start using it. And with Gouze, focused on the industrial sector, we have had a collaboration with Hexa-Signeblock to register industrial processes in our blockchain. Thanks to the data issued by the industrial plants, we are able to store very valuable data for companies. And Gouze also offers a simple visualization that helps in company decision making. It also helps to know in real time what is the status of the assets that are being manufactured and the factory. This helps to know the current state of all the assets registered in the blockchain with the guarantee that they have not been modified. Later, all this traceability can be made public to show the quality of the manufacturing processes. And finally, Gouze offers the possibility of using a unique element of Signeblock, the digital identity called Qualified ID. This identity is a Signeblock patent based on blockchain and digital signature that gives a legal support to all transactions of the blockchain. There's a possibility that we offer clients to give greater support to transactions in more sensitive processes. All this information that is stored in Gouze comes from manufacturing process that we obtain thanks to our partner Hexa-Signeblock. They will be able to tell more details of how they have managed to extract this data from the factory through the connectivity suite.
Yeah, well, what is connectivity suite? I guess it's not easy to get the idea of blockchain used for handling all that information that is confidential, that must be very secure. So what is happening is that we need to feed the information to Gouze. And then what we are doing, well, this is a typical factory. What you can see here is on your left, you see the supply chain, you see all the goods coming in, we have the stores, we have the production line, and at the end you have the shipping of the goods manufactured to the distribution chain. We'll talk later about this because this is a chain that now is closed, and if the closed life cycle of the products, the circular economy we call it. Basically what you got there is a lot of machines producing lots of things, and all this is fully automatized nowadays. So you get a lot of information from the machines. Who has done what temperatures, what numbers of items, what is the reference of the products. And then you need to put that in an electronic way. This is why we are digitizing factories nowadays. And what you have in addition to that is what we call the connectivity suite. Basically, the suite is the product into Gouze that handles the factory. So as you can see here through the cloud, we are getting all the information we need from the factory and from the offices and from the partners. And then we are putting all that information in a structured way into Gouze. This is what basically we are doing in Hexa-Engineers, the connectivity suite, to put all the information in the cloud. Advantages of this. Well, basically, when you are digitizing your factory, what you are getting is better stock and control planning, the formulation management, all the receipts, you have these digital masters for your product. All the departments have the same information. You have traceability and veracity of all the information. You can comply the legislation, and you can ensure you are complying this legislation. You have a continuous improvement in your production, and the execution timing is also under control, so you can meet deadlines. You have a complete control in real time of all the operations of your factory. If you go to the next one, you will see that this digital transformations has terrible benefits for manufacturing. You increase the speed, so you can have shorter time from developing products to manufacturing. Flexibility, you can have customized products. You can do very different products without losing high productivity. You can ensure quality, and not only the factory, but all along the distribution chain. You have a big efficiency in energy and resources in a global way. And also you are evolving because the digital manufacturing, the digital transformation is going on for all the manufacturing companies. And then you need to be there because otherwise you are losing competitiveness.
Blockchain have several benefits. This is the main benefits of this technology, but we can summarize some of them in our solutions. Thanks to Gouze, it's possible to provide to each product with its own information. What does it mean? At the end, each final client will see the information provided from the company to prove that the quality of the authenticity of the product is real, preventing also the counterfeiting and making a better branding. The companies will know where their product goes and the profile of the customer. So in conclusion, the companies will connect also directly with the final consumer, thanks to Gouze. In addition, here we can see, thanks to our solution, we can track and link all the process, quality certificates, raw material, products, even the contractual agreements from all over the supply chains, increasing the trust and transparency between all the parts, saving times in audits, verification, administration process, also import and export. At the end, saving cost. Industrial regulation, the industrial sector is full of regulation. The blockchain is auditable, unhackable, transparent, and reliable. What does it mean? At the end, blockchain is the perfect electronic notary to demonstrate to third parties through smart audits the compliance of the process, saving time, cost, procedures with the private or public administrations. So at the end, it's full of benefits for all this sector. And at the end, obviously, that as it is known that we are reaching our ecological limits. So thanks to the blockchain, it's also possible to provide transparency and a greater control over waste management and demonstrate publicly our good environmental commitment. So at the end, we are creating a better and a green image to the market and to our clients, thanks to blockchain.
Yeah, so Maria, I'm going to bring up Jess, and Jose, I'm going to bring you down, and I'll bring Jess up for initial feedback and questions. So we have about 8-9 minutes to do Q&A.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks so much for the presentation. I found it fascinating. A startup that I worked in before was in the manufacturing. We manufactured a product, and so I can have a great appreciation for what you do and how you improve processes and traceability. So that's great. And I guess one question that I had is, what's one industry that you might specifically target in the US or in Illinois specifically that you think would really benefit from your product and service that's perhaps you've done some found an industry that's really lacking in digitalization right now, or on the other side, just really needs a more increased level of traceability and security? I'm just curious what industries you're looking to target. And I do apologize if I missed any of this because I am still having a in and out audio hearing you very clearly.
Yes, maybe I can answer to that one. Probably the most interesting ones are pharma and food and beverage, because the food industry, you are required to have a lot of information on traceability of the products. It needs to be a very secure industry, and there is a lot of legislation requesting you to provide information on the traceability of the products. So this is one example. Pharma is very similar. For a pharmaceutical company, you need to have a lot of information attached to the product. And this is something that makes a must handling this information in say, a very sophisticated way. So now we have the technology for doing that in a better way. I could mention some others, but coming back to pharma, there is a very relevant aspect that Antonio has pointed out, and Sergio, is that you can prevent fraud. So if I'm buying a drug, I'm buying a medicine, and then I can track with my mobile phone that medicine on the basis of the information I have on the cloud, on blockchain, and Gouze. And I can know that it's a real medicine, it's a real drug. I know where it has been manufactured, who did it, what were the ingredients. I can trace all the process. So I can ensure that what I'm buying is real. It's a real product, and it's a safe product. Maybe Antonio wants to add something more about this.
Yeah, maybe this is the main segments that we can work with United States maybe now. But Gouze platform is available to work with any segment of the market. We already have project in environmental project, also food and beverages, and many others that we can extrapolate the platform to any other segment of the market. Doesn't matter.
I have another one, because you have seen probably John Deere among our customers. We have been working with John Deere for a very long time. There is a factory of John Deere near Madrid, and then we are manufacturing their components that are shipped to US. And then we are having a very strong traceability system. So if a harvester breaks down in the middle of Illinois, if it's a John Deere, you can go to the pod and you can know who was manufacturing the pod, when it was manufactured, what was the supplier of the screw, what was the torque on the screw. So all that traceability system that we used to have in a database in the past, we can now have it in a much more sophisticated way on blockchain. So and I want to insist in the novelty of this technology. What we are telling, automation is very old. We have been having robots in companies for 60 or 70 years. But what we are presenting today is really a new technology, a very innovative technology.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, that is one thing also that I was curious about in terms of, your competitors in the space and how blockchain, is there a great usage of it in this space yet? Or are you, it sounds like you're really on the forefront of this. have you identified some main competitors in the US for this right now?
I think that the main competitors that we know in United States at the end are the most well-known, like IBM or companies like this. In Spain, at the moment, we are one of the main competitors with other big players, because there are some projects that because of privacy, I can tell now, but we're starting to promote this platform and services with big players, because they are really they really trust in our solution, and also because we were able to link the blockchain with the certification authority through the identity that Sergio talked before, like the QID, because we're able to link like the contractual agreements with a traceability process, which is something really innovative in all this sector. And this is a point that make our solution like really competitive with others.
Great. Now I have a question. My question is there an ISO standard on how that data is coming in and out? Reason being, when I was a much younger man, I was doing computer integrated facilities management. So we would have the work orders of when the last time a air filter was fixed on a high school. So you would have the person checking in, the document, where it was brought in, when it was bought, when it was changed the last, but there wasn't a uniform data set to create the database for. So how does this work with the blockchain? Because the blockchain, if I'm understanding it right, creates this unmutable record that provides full transparency of how this is going. But how does this relate on top of this data set so that could be uniformly matched across industries or within a constellation of companies?
I must say that our blockchain register all the information, but it also behaves like a database. Each company can configure the information that is going to track, and some information is public, other is private. And so at the end, we can provide to the final customer or publicly what information can be good to show for the company, like for example, some process of the production, or for example, the quality certification, or any sensitive information that can be provided by the supplier. And also at the end, the company can use it privately to save their own database to keep all the information that they consider important that have to be linked with the product, with the final product.
All right, and Jessa, do you have another question? I know we have time for one last question before we have to move on to the next companies. So go ahead, Jessa.
Not really a question. I guess one thing that I find really interesting, right, is the increase in demand, perhaps, and need to have that consumer side of the information. So I find that really interesting about what you're doing, because I think that will become more and more relevant and is an interesting point for you to highlight in the story. You know, what do I can understand, you know, everyone in charge of the manufacturing side and the supply chain side, obviously getting all of that data and having it secure for the company. But one thing I find really interesting is the ability to then have a consumer-facing side of all of this. And one thing that comes to mind is, you know, I don't know if you're working with a lot of people in the fashion space when you mention authenticity. I find that interesting as well, too. So that's a huge problem.
Yeah, this is the idea. The idea is to, at the moment, we are not working with any luxury brand, for example, as the example that you gave, but this is one of the goals, like to use this product in this segment of the market. We consider that is very important, especially nowadays where there is a lot of fraud in some brands. But it can be used for any segment of the market to prove the authenticity and show part of the origin of the information to the final client. Even these companies who provide the final products can collect information from the final customer, thanks to the information that is registered in the blockchain. when they scan the code, like where is the location, what kind of client or profile is using or scanning the product. So at the end, both sides are connected, collecting information from both sides.
Fascinating. Thank
Great.
you.
And if
Okay,
I may
so
just,
wonderful.
if I just may jump in, and maybe I'm not totally right here, but I think that one important advantage of this technology is nowadays that we can see how a pandemic or a natural disaster can break and disrupt all the supply chain. Many manufacturers didn't know where the providers were and where the rest of the supply chain was. So now the fact that we can trace and see where suppliers are and have alternative suppliers that can fill the hole if needed. I think that's something that we've learned from this pandemic, that the fact that we didn't have mitigation risk within the supply chains should something to look at.
Absolutely. And actually, this is a good segue for the next person who's coming up, because with the blockchain technology is only good down to the SKU you are tracking. So if I have a cardboard box and I'm supposed to have 50 masks, it's great to know where that SKU was coming from, what factory, but that is really that container that holds that pallet or that SKU. And then it's getting down to the device level. Obviously, a smartphone could have its own blockchain unique identifier, and that's an assemblage of parts. But how you then really get down to what level of insanity you want to track and be public face, there's a lot of interesting things that need to go into the design of tracking the information from a public-facing side to a private-facing side to that which gets measured gets managed side. So it's a great, interesting technology. It's going to be wonderful when there's some uniform characteristics of what's tracking and why. I think you're on the right track with thinking about carbon down the road and understanding what that carbon footprint is of a piece that's manufactured that's immutable, tied to that blockchain of that device. Such great, wonderful things attaching a blockchain to an object. And so I want to thank for Hexa and the rest of the Gouze team for this interesting and innovative type of solution.